Okay, hi. I'm Juanita Giles, and
Juanita Giles! Let's hear it for Juanita Giles!
Hi.
Let's hear it. I have never seen bigger shoulders in my life. They're beautiful. I love what you've done. I myself look like I was squeezed out of a can of Cheese Whiz, so I applaud your choice as well. Thank you.
Well, yellow is the big color for fall, you see.
It is. It's also Curious George's owner's color.
That's true. And yellow suits apparently on ASOS are very popular, ladies. Very good. So you
Good
could
to
go
know
with
that.
those, too.
Good to know that.
So I am the NPR's children's literature columnist and also the director of the Virginia Children's Book Festival, so that's why I'm here today.
I'm so honored to be here. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, I love your Rumple Buttercup. It's awesome.
Oh, look at all that out there. I prepared a few questions for Rumple, but he's already, departed. So
He'll answer some as well. Halfway through, I'll switch into Rumple.
So it seems like most people know who you are already. I get that. I get
you.
that idea.
Thank you so much.
Because I was going to say that, it's not really important to me, but you are on television and in the movies a little bit. But you did write a book, which is what is important to me. That may be made into a movie maybe one day. Why not? It was in April, I think, that Rumple crawled out of the rain drain. Is that when he came out in April?
April 2nd, I believe, was his birthday.
April 2nd. And before I even get started, I do have to ask, why rain drain and not sewer?
Rain drain instead of sewer for a couple of reasons. First of all, I like the phonetic sound of rain drain. It's a little more charming sounding than sewer. And I didn't want him to be confused with the scary clown from It, who lives in a sewer and is terrifying. So
Right.
rain drain.
Okay.
It's a great question.
That was a question from my children.
How old are your children?
9, 7, and 5.
Good ages.
So
Which one is your favorite? Just
the,
don't answer
the,
that.
the one
All
that
of them.
the one that sets the table.
Ooh, well done.
So
oh my gosh.
So that's that one. But they sent me several questions actually, and I was going to start with
I
their
love it already.
questions.
Thank you.
And this one is from my 7-year-old girl, and she's very soft-hearted, very tender-hearted, and she's worried about Candy Corn Carl. Does everybody
understand.
know who Candy Corn
Has
Carl
anyone here read the
is?
book? Have a few of you read the book? Oh, good. Oh.
She's very worried that he's left alone at the end of the book.
That's a great question and a wonderful concern.
She cried about it.
Oh my gosh. Tell her not to cry and not to fret, because Candy Corn Carl absolutely moves above ground with Rumple and continues to live and has many more adventures with him, actually.
So Rumple moves above ground then?
He does.
That's not told to us in the book.
It'll in the next book it will.
And so there's another book. Okay. We'll get to that. No pressure.
That was a subtle drop of my next book.
They brought me up here for a reason. So good at that. So my son, who's 9, has a very different question.
What's his name?
His name is Paige.
Paige. How do you spell that?
P-A-G-E.
It's a good
He's
name.
named after my grandfather.
Oh, beautiful name.
Yes. And he did not cry about Candy Corn Carl, but he has a different question. He wants to know how Rumple can stretch his arms and neck so far out of the rain drain.
That's a very good question. There's a moment in the book where, through superhuman willpower and pure adrenaline only, Rumple is able to dislocate his elbow from his shoulder, and his arm becomes sort of a mobile, slithering snake to grab a rain drain. And that's exactly it. It's through the will to want to accomplish something. And I think Rumple embodies the American spirit in all of us, and he wants to achieve something. Here we are in the nation's capital. Who here's from D.C., by the way? It's a great place. And through sheer willpower and want to succeed, he's able to defy the logic of the human body and stretch his arm. Tell Paige not to try that, though, with his arm. Just try it more with his mind.
I'm trying to get him to
I don't want him to dislocate his elbow.
He's attempted to put his head through, the
banister?
Yes.
I've done that a few times. And actually, the
that's-
last time I did that, I was in my 30s. And I'm not kidding, I've been stuck. I have butter in my refrigerator for only 2 purposes, popcorn and getting my head out of banisters.
There's a Designing Women episode about that, actually.
It is.
When
I actually had to
Julia
use butter
gets
to
her
get
head
into
stuck in
this
the
suit today,
fence.
too. It's so tight. I usually wear a big, furry Rumple costume, but it's so hot, I decided to wear a suit. But foolishly, I wore a polyester suit, which is the only thing on this earth hotter than a 6-foot-tall monster suit, I'm realizing.
But it is about 10 degrees over here. Is that true? It's so frigid.
Is it freezing in here?
Over here,
Okay,
it's so
that makes
cold.
oh, good. I'm like pouring sweat, so.
So,
I'm like literally nervous, Juanita. I'm kind of terrified right now. But it's going well, right?
I
Thank
guess.
you. Okay. Thank you. I wasn't fishing for that, but thank you very much. It's a giant crowd.
I
And
know.
this guy. What's your name, sir? Thank you, Steve. Thank you for being here. Thank you. Let's hear it for Steve. I look like if Colonel Sanders sold used cars, and I'm behaving like a used car salesman on stage, I'm realizing. Thank you. Thank you for enduring.
My 5-year-old was too shy to send you a question. She's very shy. But my husband has a question for you.
I can't wait.
Actually, a couple. The pants and the belt. Where did Rumple get pants and a belt?
A very valid question.
And how does he wash them?
Where did Rumple get his pants and belt? I know that you have a microphone and they heard the answer. I'm stalling to tell you the truth. The pants and belt that Rumple have are Christian Dior that he found in a dumpster in France. And actually, this suit is made by Concept 2 by Campus. So that's the brand that mimicked the belt.
Where'd you get that suit?
I found it in a dumpster in France, where Rumple found his.
Oh, wow. I like it.
Thank
very
you so much. I love your shoulder pads, and they're colorful too.
They are.
Can you show the audience the interior? They have a flare of magenta and burnt orange, and you look amazing.
Zara.
It's incredible.
Just letting you know, Zara.
Whoa.
Anybody like Zara? Pants also Zara?
Zara, that's a plug for Zara. Is that
Yes.
a baby or a dog or a bear or all three? Is that a real child or is that a bear? Okay, that's amazing.
It's like a Teddy
That would be
Ruxpin.
an adorable. It's like Teddy Ruxpin.
Ruxpin.
Oh, in a
Yes.
Rumple outfit. Oh my gosh! And can you guys hear me? I can't hear myself, but you guys can all hear me. Okay.
How many people out there are wearing Rumple-related material?
Oh my god! I see some bananas. You look amazing. Oh my gosh.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, good grief.
Did you make those?
It's amazing.
Oh my word.
Oh my gosh. That's awesome. Man.
Wow.
Candy Corn Carl's over there.
Oh my gosh!
Wait. Can she join us on stage for a second? Do you want to come up here for a second?
Come on up.
Candy Corn Carl in the flesh. This is to answer your question for your child. Candy Corn Carl does exist. Candy Corn Carl is not left in the rain drain with the clown from It. Candy Corn Carl comes above ground and joins us in Washington, D.C. Oh my gosh. Juanita,
Oh,
is it
my
okay
word.
if come over,
Please.
please. This is one of the greatest costumes I've ever said.
That is.
We'll reenact a real split-second moment from the book. The moment where Rumple says, "What have you been up to, Carl?" But Carl never replied. Wonderful. What's your name?
Jamie.
Let's hear it for Jamie. Thank you, Jamie. Where are you from?
Tokyo.
From Tokyo!
wow.
Arigato gozaimasu. I met her in Los Angeles. She tells me she was not wearing a lollipop on her eye, so I would recall without the lollipop. Very nice to see. You look amazing. That's an incredible outfit. Thank you so much. That's amazing. Thank you. Wow, you guys are the best.
Wow.
I gotta say, honestly, this is the best day of my life. And I say that pretty much every day that I wake up, and I mean it every day that I wake up. But you guys coming from far distances and dressing up like imaginary creatures means the world to me, and I'm so humbled and honored to be here. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, thank you.
I do have to say, being up here with you makes me feel a bit like I'm on The Price is Right.
I do feel like a host. I'm the fan. Yeah, exactly. I
I
do
feel
look
that
like
general energy. Yeah, it's very exciting. Did you have a TV to give away?
I have a TV, ladies and gentlemen, to give away. And an aquarium.
$781.
Good guess. That's
my
exactly
guess.
782. You win.
Oh, yeah, I didn't go over. So I do have a little bit more serious questions
Oh, good.
for
Yes,
you.
please.
You've said the book is for all ages. And I
Yeah.
can look out there and I can see that, of course. I still, I read aloud to my kids every day, and they really love, to me, it's a very read aloud book.
Thank you.
It is so natural to read it aloud. I can't imagine not reading it aloud. And I was wondering if you actually spoke it when you were writing it, because it is such an incredible book to read aloud.
Oh, thank you. That's a very sweet compliment. And yeah, I did write it to read aloud. I sort of, in any process of anything I'm making, whether it's a book or like a movie or a story, I read everything aloud. And when I was drawing it, I also found myself, like, when I'm drawing Rumple, like contorting my face into the exact sort of expression that he was making while doing it. But I meant it to be a very tangible book. And my favorite memories in life are having books read to me by loved ones. And so when I sort of conceived of the idea, I think naturally the idea was that, you know, people would be reading this to their loved ones. Or someone would be reading it aloud. I read books aloud to myself when I'm alone. So yes, it was always meant to be read that way.
What are some of the books that were read to you? Do you remember any in particular?
War and Peace when I was 4. My
Yeah, me
mom,
too.
I'll never forget that summer. 2 summers, actually. Dostoyevsky, am I saying that right? Is Dostoyevsky in the audience? Am I saying, who knows what I'm talking about even? Dostoyevsky. I'm very literate. I'm an author, ladies and gentlemen. And I love Deutsch Kaparsky, the guy.
Well, you and I are of an age. You
yeah.
and I are very similar in
Yeah,
age.
yes.
Reading Rainbow was a huge part of my
Was
life
that Lamar?
growing up. Lamar Burton.
Yeah, my man.
Yes.
Remember the Red Room? Do you remember the Red Room?
Yes, I do.
Who here remembers? I only saw it when I was 3. It
Lamar
horrified me. It's probably not as scary as I recall, but it had a great impact. A kid is trapped in a room that's all red. Sorry to answer your question in a long-winded way. A clear memory I have my mother, who's in the audience, Marilyn Gubler. What has she won, ladies and gentlemen? Stand up, Mom. Are you there? Where's my mom?
I believe, over here.
Where's my mom?
She was right over
She
there.
has Oh, there she is, the most beautiful woman in the world. She's very cool. Stand up, Mom.
There she
Dude,
is.
yeah! This is actually an actress I hired to play my mom for today's event. I'm joking, it's my real mom. You can tell by the crazy glasses. She's wearing bat-winged sunglasses. Anyway, my mother, she used to read to me Asterix, this French comic. Are you familiar? But the amazing thing was, this was in the early 1930s when I was born. So the internet had not been invented. A lot of books had not been translated. My mother speaks fluent French, so she would translate them to me as a child. And it was very, it was hard. I could tell it was hard on her because she told me it was hard on her. That's how I could tell. And I'm just realizing it's yellow and green. Who designed this? Sorry, I have a very short attention span. I was boring myself with my own story. It's a beautiful backdrop. Anyway, she would read to me Asterix. Other books from my childhood that were read to me were the Butter Battle book was probably the first book that was ever read to me by Dr. Seuss. That's a masterpiece, by the way. Isn't that a great book? Read the Butter Battle book, ladies and germs. It is... Thanks for that. It's a great book. But yeah, those were some. What books did you read aloud? Have read aloud?
Well, what do I remember, or what am I reading now?
When you were a child, yeah.
Oh, when I was a child, actually, I got in trouble for reading Judy Blume books at school.
Oh my gosh.
That's what happened to me.
You got in trouble for reading at school?
Judy Blume books, yes.
Is Judy Blume, is that like the new Balzac? Like, is she controversial, Judy
Ju-
Blume?
do-
I know
do
she did
people
like the Babysitter's Club.
I
Judy
don't even know if I
Blume?
can talk about it up here on the stage.
Okay, this is too, let's see.
You know, so I don't, actually what's funny is I don't really remember being read to. I remember making myself learn to read because I have an older brother and I wanted to read so badly.
Can I read you a book a little later after this
Yes,
interview?
of course.
I would be
I would
honored.
love that.
I'm sorry that you weren't read to.
That's okay.
I'm gonna rectify
That's
that.
perfectly all right. But I do have a question. Well,
Yes.
when we get there, I'll ask that one. But I do want to say it's quite a long book.
It is? Oh, yeah.
It's 136 pages.
Yes.
And when it came to me, when it was sent to me to read, I put everything in front of my kids first. And I warned them. I said, we're not reading this all tonight. Because they are in the bed by 8 o'clock. And I said, it was probably 7:53. And I said, we're not reading this because you have to get up for school at 6:15 in the morning. But then we read the whole thing. We couldn't stop. And I love that there are just two chapters,
Yeah,
which is awesome. Is
thank
it just
you. It's
two?
actually 3.
Three.
But
I
yeah,
can't
yeah.
remember. I just
Close,
remember
yeah.
we went on through. But how did you convince a publisher to publish a 136-page picture book?
It's a good question, and I think when I conceived of this, or when I make anything, I never worry or am concerned with what the mainstream will think of it. So it never occurred to me that it was even long. And my intention when I wrote it was truly, well, to write a book for myself and then to hopefully give it to other people. And I just sort of in my head, I never worry about, like, with anything I do, I never worry about, like, I just worry about, I love making stuff so much that to me it's the journey of making something and having faith in it. And I was just intending to self-publish it, totally honestly. And then when I finished it, some people saw it and they were like, you should go to a big publisher, and they're not, and it was actually sort of whispered to me that they're not going to want to publish it because it's, not by the people that published it, but because it's a very long kid's book, and would I be willing to, like, make it more normal or make it 30 pages to 60, to which I was like, no, I'm very confident to I wouldn't ever, this is a long-winded answer. Long story short, the book was that long, and I had zero interest in shortening it because that's the book. And I worry less about form or, like, convention than making something from the heart. And I see it a lot, especially in, like, the Hollywood world, of people like, their movie has to be 91 minutes. And to me, a movie just has to be good. And a movie can be 1 minute. I've seen commercials that are as effective as 2-hour movies by Russian filmmakers. And it's like, I don't know why I just said Russian filmmakers, but there's some good Russian filmmakers. You know, it's like, my point is, anything can be beautiful. Length means nothing. I know that it's unconventional, but I also have a firm believer, everything I know about storytelling I learned from, like, a film perspective. I went to film school, and to me, the story took that long. And I think it's very important for storytellers and entertainers to have great faith in their audience. And I had an absolute faith that kids wouldn't get bored, and that they would actually, my hope would be that it would inspire kids to think, oh, I'm not reading, like, an 8-page, like, booklet. I'm reading an actual book like my dad and mom have, and it's a thick book, and it would give them sort of a sense of accomplishment. And the whole thing also was conceived, stop me if I'm getting long-winded, literally just you tell me. I'll never be offended.
One of my questions was the length important to you? And you just said, you know, to give kids the idea that they're reading an actual book like an adult reads. That's really fascinating.
Yeah, and it was sort of a two-part thing where I see this more as, like, a moving picture film. And to me, part of turning the pages is what kind of propels the reader forward, and it's part of the journey. And there's pages where I use the form shortly, like with one word on a page or one sentence, and it was all meant for a cumulative effect of a journey that hopefully kids and adults would go on.
Okay. Now, there are a lot of kids' books out there now with a message, right? There are lots, and that's important. That's really important, but the messages of acceptance and being different, and that's, you know, I was a little different. You look like you're a little different. You know, we probably would have gotten along in high school. And when I wore my trash bag as a skirt, you know.
That's cool. That's awesome.
But the thing that really sets this apart for me, Rumple Buttercup, as far as the message, is that it's got so much humor.
Oh, thank you.
And so many kids' books, you know, even all the way up to YA, sort of don't include humor as part of the equation. And I was wondering what's important. What did you think about including humor? Was it intentional? Was it naturally that way? What's the importance of that to you?
Humor to me is truly the most divine gift that human beings have. And I feel like if you have a sense of humor, you're like, you have a superpower to me. And I like anybody that's funny, it means everything to me. And I think it's also a very important tool. If, you know, at times Rumple's very sad in this book, but he always retains his humor, and I hope that would maybe kind of be a subtle guide to children or to adults. And again, I don't really think of this as a kid. I keep saying kids. I literally wrote this book as a book that I wanted to read, and I acknowledge that kids like it, and my hope is that other people like it, or, you know, humans like it is my hope, and monsters and aliens. But yeah, humor is the most important thing in the world to me, and so I don't know that I tried to infuse it, and also I'm not that funny, so I don't know that I like purposefully infused it, but I know that Rumple has a sense of humor, and everyone that I admire in this world does, and I think it's our best export as human beings.
The humor part of it actually takes me a bit to your illustrations, because I know that you did all the illustrations. You designed the barcode. You did the barcode on the back.
I handwrote the barcode, the copyright page with a magnifying glass. Yeah.
The whole thing. which I imagine was
Yeah.
quite time-consuming.
It was incredibly time-consuming.
I was gonna say, you know, most authors don't get to pick their illustrators, so that must have been a very fraught relationship for you, because you know, to be told you had to work with yourself, that must have been very hard.
I'm a control freak, so yeah, I would never. Yeah, I had, of course, illustrate.
But you know, Rumple is a monster, and you go to great length to describe how that's what he is.
Oh, yeah.
But he's not. The illustrations make him less scary
Oh, thank
and
you.
more approachable. And I was just wondering about that. You know, how important was it to you to make a monster that felt not like an ugly, awful monster? I mean, he's not.
thank you.
I don't know how a monster with an eye that is a foot and a half away from another eye,
He's nearsighted.
not even on the head,
Farsighted.
can be adorable. But somehow he is adorable.
Oh, thank you.
You know, the disturbing aspects are less disturbing
Oh,
because
thank
he's
you.
adorable. And I was wondering, just tell me about that, please.
You know, I've been like drawing and painting since I could hold a pen, and everything I make, I make with sincerity, and never with really thinking much about it. And I know that I always see my paintings and my drawings and the stuff that I create kind of as Rorschach tests for people. To me, they're just like sincere interpretations of something I love, whether it's a monster in a drain or a dog or like a painting of my dad. I only draw things that I really love, and it's kind of interesting because I don't know if you've ever seen anything else I've done besides this book.
I have, and
visually.
this is
Oh, yeah.
your painting and your other. That's what
yeah.
I've really looked at, and this is a bit more endearing than
Oh,
some of
thank
it.
you. Oh.
Some of it is a little. No, I mean you've got a little creepiness going
thank-
on sometimes.
Oh, well, I take that as a compliment.
Yeah.
And to me, it seems always more like a Rorschach to the viewer, and it's kind of like,
Oh, dear.
I think, no, but I mean, that's not a bad thing at all, and I don't like, I'm untrained in most everything except for filmmaking, so it's all from like a genuine place, and I think people kind of can see in it or my hope is that they kind of see what they hope to see. And I do obviously have very shaky hands, which I think sometimes makes things maybe seem like a little bit odd. But yeah, I don't know. I just tried to put myself into everything, and hopefully it's endearing. Also, to answer your question, with Rumple, it was really fascinating and wonderful to make this, and it took a lot of time. Because I noticed with like the tiniest change of any nuance, whether it's flaring his left nostril a millimeter or changing a slight placement of his eye, he was able to express so much emotion. And it's integral to the book. As a storyteller, I consider myself like 60% a visual storyteller and 40% like a written storyteller. So I always sort of err on the side of, and I learned a lot of this in film school, of like, always show the audience instead of tell the audience. So the illustrations in Rumple, I wanted so many pages where like, and a lot of the final changes I made on the book were taking out the words and making it so much more impactful, I think, of a character. If you can make the audience an active participant in feeling what the character feels, whether it's Rumple just like with a sad face looking, you don't hopefully need to say Rumple was sad. And that was always my intention, was to make it as stark and sort of like a silent film was how I kind of approach this and a lot of everything I do. And then adding the words where they can highlight. But I'll stop talking now.
Which is your
For
favorite?
someone that talks about starkness, I just gave a 45-minute answer. That's great.
okay.
But I was flaring my left nostril a millimeter the entire time, so it's cool. It translates, right?
Which is your favorite picture in the book? Do you have one?
I do. I really love Rumple so much. I'm like,
I think
He's
they
just-
might too, actually.
oh, thank you.
They seem like they do.
My favorite actually is at the very end when he has the wind blowing in his three wispy hairs. I can't quite find
That's,
it. But I don't know. I love his feeling of knowing. Here it is. It's on. It's sort of. I know there's no page numbers on I know. It's just this sort of satisfied look of warmth in his heart at the very end.
I know you want to read some before we take some questions, maybe from the audience, maybe a couple, but I have one of my very own questions for you, and that is the sugar. I'm worried about your diet. because everything
Laffy Taffy for breakfast,
I'm
cotton candy
serious.
for lunch. I'm that guy, that elf from that movie Elf.
You really seem to have a thing with sugar in this book. Can you talk a little bit about all of the references to sugar?
There is some
And your
sugar.
mom is out there, and I don't know if you ate candy a lot as a child,
You
if
know-
she had snuck it. She's saying no.
My mom
Were you
is
denied candy?
My mom, interestingly, is probably the only person since the Civil War that, and I mean no disrespect to the holiday, so don't even think what I'm about to say is disrespectful to Halloween. My mother loves candy corn, which I love the appearance of candy corn. Not crazy about the taste.
That was my question. One of them was my
I'm sorry.
questions.
My,
Why do they love candy corn Carl so much when so many kids hate candy corn?
That's
Kids
funny.
hate
But
candy corn.
it's you know, it's an old, I don't know, it's not
a
for
little
everybody.
waxy.
Sugar for me, I don't eat a lot. What's funny is I'm not a sugar fanatic, or I don't think I am. I don't eat a lot of candy, but every Saturday night since I was probably 11, I eat a pint of ice cream alone. So that's probably a lot of sugar. But anybody else do that? By the way, I highly encourage it. Yeah, awesome. Every Saturday night, it started when I was young. I love eating a pint of ice cream. And I found that, like, I'm superstitious about two things. It's that and mismatched socks. When I don't eat a pint of ice cream on a Saturday night alone, it's a weird week. I think it's weird because my stomach's not in pain.
It's not rum raisin, is it?
I love rum raisin.
No.
I know. I got to wait.
No.
I met Ray Bradbury, by the way. You guys ever heard of Ray
wow.
Bradbury? One of my idols, one of my favorite authors. But he loves ice cream as well. And I got to ask him what his favorite ice cream was, and he said peppermint and rum raisin. I like it. My favorite is butter pecan. I like all ice cream, don't get me wrong, but butter pecan is probably my favorite. Rumple's color was based on mint chip ice cream, and that's sort of part of the inspiration of Rumple, too.
So non-organic mint ice cream.
Exactly.
That's right. Again, I worry about your diet. I do worry.
Only Saturdays you should worry about my diet. I eat a lot of cashews otherwise.
Oh, good. Well, would you like to read a little bit?
Does anybody want to hear a story? I would be honored. Oh my gosh. Oh, thank you.
I can leave the stage and allow you to move as you wish.
Whatever you prefer to do. I want to read it to you.
I don't want to get run. Well, yes, you were going to read
You've
to
never
me.
had a story
That's
read to you.
right. Thank
I'm going to read one to all of you.
Right.
Oh my gosh. I'm excited. Do you guys want to hear Rumple Buttercup? Oh my goodness. Oh, well, I'm so honored. And is it true? Did I hear a rumor? Oh my gosh. Seeing yourself on screen. What's up with my hair? This is crazy. I look insane. Oh, thank you. Thank you. It really seems like I'm fishing for. I really am like. Yeah. Thank you. You look great too. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, I see the screen. Oh, and do we have? Is it true? Oh, good. We have a visual thing too.
Do we have a water? Let me see. I think I have one in my bag down there.
How mobile is this thing? Can I walk? Oh yeah, this is
Let
good.
me see.
Does anybody have a book I can borrow? Can I borrow your book? Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Wow. This is great. Have you guys, how's this festival been for everybody? Good? Exciting? Oh, I'm getting a 10-minute warning. Wait, I'm gonna go fast. I'm gonna lose the, wait, I'm gonna start the book. All right. You're so sweet. If we run out of time, we'll go to the parking lot and do this. I kid you not. I'm more than happy to do that. This book is dedicated to all the Rumples everywhere. I feel like there's a few of us in the audience. And it begins, question, can we put the book on the screen? Or is that, oh good, to the beginning? And is there a way, is it easiest, this is like Inception. No, it's like that Memento, it's like Christopher Nolan film. You're seeing the middle before you see the end. And then you're seeing the beginning, and then you're seeing this thing, which I have no idea. That's a different book. That's amazing. That's cool, it's all good, whatever. I'm gonna read the book. Is it easy if I change it? Oh, there we go. I like to have a lot of dead air in my presentations. They tell you in presentation school, which I never went to always... Ladies and gentlemen, all right, this is great. Next is the next button. I present to you... I'll give you your book back, don't worry. It was you, thank you. Rumple Buttercup. By me, Matthew Gray Gubler. Oh, thank you. Come close, and I will tell you a story. By the way, in case people didn't pick it up, this is Rumple himself as a grandfather telling the story to all of you. Did anybody grab that? Was that too esoteric? Okay, good. My hope was that on the 5th read, people would get that. Chapter 1. Once upon a time, long ago and far away, in a tiny town beneath a purple peaked pine tree, there lived a monster named Rumple Buttercup. He had 5 crooked teeth, 3 strands of hair, green scaly skin, and his left foot was slightly bigger than his right foot, 11% to be exact. He was weird. And so Rumple worried that if anyone ever saw him, they would be scared. Did I scare you? Run away? If I had a microphone that could move, I would run away, or throw rocks at his head. So he spent his entire life hiding underground in a rain drain right by a garbage can, also known as a sewer, tell your children, by a garbage can in the middle of town where no one would ever see him, but where he could still see them, laughing and playing, singing and dancing, walking dogs and jumping rope, but most of all, not being weird. This person has lots of straight teeth. This lady has more than 3 strands of hair. He has no green skin. That guy has perfectly proportioned feet. And that little dog is cute and fluffy. Living underground wasn't all bad, though. Rumple made the most of it. And he had a nice little home he decorated with old garbage he found in the can outside. Rumple's home had a tin can chandelier. It had a broken umbrella toe scratcher, an old-fashioned garbage chair with roller skate reels and wheels and rusted radio headset. Does anybody have one of those at home? Good. I know a lot of us do, so that's why I included it. And a footstool made entirely out of bubble gum and beans. There he lived I skipped a page. Don't worry about it. I wrote it. I memorized it. There he lived day after day, week after week, year after year, alone. So, one day, Candy Corn Carl, can you join me on stage from Tokyo? Oh, are you filming? You can also, you don't have to. Just stand up. This is good. Or don't, you're good. Stay there. I tried. We have a Candy Corn. So one day, oh, come on up. This will be fun. Be in it. You'll want to be in this. Have your friend film it. Yeah. This is going to be great. I'm making you all work now. You like this? Can someone help me up here? So one day, Rumple reached in the garbage can, and he took 2 lollipops, a piece of chewed gum, 3 strands of spaghetti, some melted licorice rope, a petrified pretzel, a handful of candy corn, and a wonderful girl from Tokyo. And he created Candy Corn Carl. Thank you. Thank you so much. Even though Candy Corn Carl was just a bunch of old candy that Rumple had glued to the wall, Candy Corn Carl was Rumple's best friend in the world, and he would talk to him for hours a day, saying things like, "What have you been up to, Carl?" But Carl never replied. "Okay, well, hang in there, Carl." Get it? Hang in there because you're hung on a wall? If Carl was real, he probably would have liked that joke. But since Carl was just a bunch of candy glued to a wall, Carl just stared. When Rumple wasn't building stuff out of garbage or talking to Candy Corn Carl, he would listen to the voices above ground and pretend they were talking to him. With his eyes shut really tight, it was as if he was part of all of the fun happening above. People would say things like, can you see the screen there? Do you want to be that voice?
Which one? Can anyone get my cat out of that tall tree?
I can. And wow, those are some great dance moves. Thanks. Hang in there, I said to him. Ha 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 ha. But when he opened his eyes, he would remember that it was all just a dream and no one was ever talking to him. Sometimes at night, if the moon wasn't too bright and if Rumple was feeling adventurous, he would go above ground with the help of a very special disguise. Is there a kid in the audience who wants... Oh, you! Do you mind coming on stage and reading Rumple's above ground disguise instructions for us? I can tell already you're a great reader, and you have a great banana on your head. Woo! Oh, shoot. Okay, just got a 5-minute warning, but don't worry. If you're present in the present moment, 5 minutes can feel like an eternity. Come on up and join me. What's your name?
River.
River! Let's hear it for River! River, I know you're a great reader. Do you want to read this part with me? Do you want to read Rumple's above-ground disguise instructions? Step 1.
Get a banana peel out of the garbage can.
Amazing. Step 2.
Put it on head.
Just like you've done here. Wonderful. Step 3.
Close eyes.
Step 4.
Slither head up the drain and sit very, very still.
Incredible. Let's hear it for River. That was amazing. Thank you so much. Thank you for joining me. Thank you, River. I just learned the word slither when I was in 8th grade, so I'm very impressed by that, River. You're very talented. He would sit there lying quietly by the garbage can. No one would notice him. And if anyone ever did, they would just think he was a pile of trash. So sad. You got to take the audience on a journey. You got to make them feel the lows so the highs magnify that much greater. Hidden under his banana peel, Rumple almost felt like he was normal. Year after year, with his eyes shut tight, he would feel the breeze of the changing seasons. Can we do a breeze noise? I'm going to start here. Yeah, I'm going to run it this way. Ready? When I start to move, let's do the breeze. He would feel the breeze of the changing seasons. I can't explain how awesome that was for me to hear. I don't know if you guys heard it, but in my position, it sounded great. In October, he would hear the crunching leaves and almost taste the apple cider. In December, he would hum along with the passing carolers. La 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 la. 2 minutes left till I get kicked off stage. And in July, he would imagine beautiful fireworks. But at the end of the night, he was reminded that he was all still alone. Chapter 2. I'm going for it. I'm going to go until you pull me. The leaves were turning green, which meant that Rumple's favorite day was the annual cotton candy pajama parade on the 17th Saturday of summer. Everyone in town would wake up with pajamas on and march down the center of town, singing, dancing, lighting fireworks, while eating giant bushels of cotton candy pancakes. But Rumple loved those days most of all because that was the one day that he could actually go out in the daylight. With all the noise and commotion, no one would ever notice him as long as he had his disguise. After a whole year of waiting, do I hear 45 in the audience? Do I hear 45, 46, 47, 48, 49? After a whole year of waiting, the day was almost here. This night before, Rumple was so excited he could hardly sleep. He woke up early, brushed his 5 crooked teeth, combed his 3 wispy hairs, slowly, carefully slithered his long green hand up the rain drain to find a banana peel, but the garbage can was empty. Nothing in there but gum stains. There was no banana peel. Oh no, thought Rumple, I'm gonna miss the pajama pancake parade. I can't go above ground without my disguise or people will think I'm weird. So he lowered his head and cried. Cry with me. And cried. And cried some more. Cry loud. Cry loud, loud, loud. When anybody asks, say that Matthew Gray Gubler made you all cry. And that is when he heard it. Chapter 3. Do we stop? 1 minute. Aren't you going to watch the parade this year? I usually have a kid read this part, but we'll go fast this time. Rumple couldn't believe it. Can you go for an entire those years? No. Oh, this kid's talking to him. I'm going to paraphrase. And then he said they heard another voice. You guys have read the book, right? Okay. A little bit louder this time. Can you hear me down there, mister? The voice wasn't coming from Candy Corn Carl. The voice was coming from the rain drain. Someone above ground was talking to him. Sorry to bother you, but we were just wondering if you're going to watch the parade this year. Rumple sheepishly replied, what do you mean? He couldn't help but notice that you were in the usual spot, so I thought I would check to make sure you were okay. You can see me? Of course we can see you. You're kind of hard to miss. But aren't you scared of me? Then a different voice replied, why would I be scared of you? Because I have 5 crooked teeth, 3 strands of hair, green scaly skin, my left foot slightly bigger than my right. I'm weird. Well, look at me, replied the boy. Now the boy kind of shows him that he has some insecurities of his own. I'm going to paraphrase, it'll be like 10 seconds. He's covered in freckles, he's got red hair, he's got metal on his teeth, braces. Rumple's like, whoa. The older guy's like, oh, look at me, I got really thick glasses and a speech impediment, and blah, blah, blah. And all of a sudden, Rumple didn't feel so alone. He moved closer to the rain drain, he got up on his tiptoes, he looked out into Washington, D.C. at this Costco that we're at right now, and he saw the entire city looking down. Wrap it up. I got it. I see the sign. My hair's too curly. All these people are like, I got all these things with me, man. My hair's too straight. I'm allergic to dogs. I'm taller than my big brother. I'm shorter than my big sister. My toes look like tiny carrots. I can't grow a mustache. Peanuts make my face turn red. I look like a frog. I sing like a frog. People lose me. And that's when Rumple realized everybody is weird. Thank you. And that's what makes us great. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I love you all. Thank you for joining me in the world's fastest reading of Rumple Buttercup. I love you all. It means so much to me.